inside of you.
Come on. Yes.
And sometimes I was going to say the rod of correction, and then getting the rod of correction is good because it kind of pushes you into your destiny. It pushes you into your purpose. To have you, gives you a understanding. And sometimes that we can get so laid back when God is really requiring us, to grow and to mature in different places. And I had another thought and I kind of lost it. Even when Vanessa said about the seed, even when the apostle did that teaching on what is it, strange gods, that could be a seed. Yeah. Some things we really have to take off. We have to come out of they had to take off the earrings. They had to change their garments. Yeah. There's some places in us that has to be changed. We have to change some things. We have to change our direction on the way. We have to change our walk. Yeah. Sometimes you can walk into the store and God might be telling you to stay at home. You have to turn the direction on your focus on things that you do when He's requiring more of you. And this is what it's all about. To bring us back into that identity, that newness of who He is on the inside of us. Because we sowed a lot of diverse seeds. If we look back in some of our pains and births and everything that came through and I don't even want to say bloodline, because we're not even in that anymore. We're in a new place in God, and we have to see it as such, because we can't keep looking from a ground of a nature that's contrary to what God is really calling us into. We can't stay in that place in the nature of everything else that came through the birth of the wound of our own decisions. Can I say that?
Decisions. Good stuff.
So it is, and it's love, God. He's love, and it's love in this house. I mean, it's real, authentic love in this house. And it's all for our good, for us to mature. And God don't want us to struggle. We don't have to struggle. We've been in a place too long to be struggling and fighting with things that we need to just call it for what it is, and just take responsibility and grab a hold of them and just kind of take what's being said and really allow yourself to get in that place where you can, that you can mature and you can grow.
Yes, Lord.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah, I mean, the environment of that seed is very important, and sometimes because we find ourselves, too busy doing other things, I believe, the seed kind of chokes itself. We choke it. We choke it from the ability of what they say, we stomp its growth.
Yes.
Yeah. We stomp the growth of that seed, by the little things, and they're subtle things. The subtle things just that you might not think are nothing. But if you place that seed in that right environment, whether if it's prayer, praise, or worship, it'll grow. It'll grow. It'll grow, and you'll allow God to come in and begin to cultivate that. The husbandman would come in, and he would begin to prune and begin to, once he sees that when a seed grows naturally, at a certain height, they have to prune it just right so it will grow more. So we have to get to a point sometimes in our lives where the husbandman has to come in and do some pruning. And needless to say, don't run away from it. Or you'll never bring forth fruit.
It says, we are in a place where God, by His Spirit, is trying to change our life and give us fresh insight and new direction. He wants us to be transformed and held accountable for our lives, our lifestyles, our beliefs, our thoughts, our finances. Everything matters to God. For too long, the word has been fixed or stuck in the mouths of God's people and have not been fixed in our hearts or our feet. The Father does not want this to be a grind or to be laborious. He wants us to enjoy the journey, but he also wants us to change. Change the way we see him, change the way we understand him, and change the way we represent him.
Wow.
And that's all from just allowing the seed to grow correctly.
Come on.
You know, being obedient to the things that we're told to do. You know, I don't believe, you know, I mean, at one time, I mean, I did, you know, kind of thought, I'm like, man, sometimes, I mean, it's like, man, they might be asking too much. No, it's not really that they're asking too much. Really, it's what you're really supposed to be doing. You know, but because we always find excuse of not, you know, being able to, and I believe, you know, part of it has to do with sometimes where we come from, and that's why we have to go through that doxation or detox. You know, we have to go through that detox, and then in that detox you wonder, say, man, is this really the place for me? You know, but you have to find that in your place. You have to find that in your heart and know that what you carry, somebody else can begin to take that, what you carry, cultivate it, speak into it, and see it grow. But you have to be able to move forward in that, so that in that way you can begin to see God just move. It's not that, you know, complicated, but I mean, I don't know. You know, it's kind of hard. You know, I'll be, you know, kind of candid. I'll be open, transparent again with you. You know, just, I would have never thought I would find myself in that place. But, you know, been in the ministry here for a while, my wife and I, you know, and been alongside our leaders for a while, you know, and I had a dream. And God showed me in the dream, you know, and that I was, that we were outside in the rain, pouring concrete, and it was just the men. And what happened was that I mentioned it to Apostle, and actually I had asked the guys, who told you guys to pour the concrete? It's raining. Don't anybody know, you know, what they're doing? So then Apostle came, and then I mentioned it to him, and out of that, I would have never thought, from the interpretation that I got, that I was really coming against what Apostle was building in that dream.
Come on. Let them know.
A spirit of offense that I had. Now catch this. When I mentioned it to my leaders, guess what the first thing that he said? Yeah, kind of knew. But see, when that time comes, when that seed is really coming to where it's supposed to, they got to come in. They have to. I'm like, man, God, thank you for sharing that. Because if not, I would have kept going and not even know. Then I would have got probably offended even more if they brought it to me, because I would have said, nah, ooh, not me. Man, I'm your elder.
Right. Yeah.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
But when God brings something in, you know, just be able to submit to it. And that's how we stop the growth too. We stop that seed from really, you know.
Good.
And it's really not a hard thing. I'm listening to him and I'm thinking it's not really a hard thing, because even when you think about a shell, I mean, a seed has a hard shell on the outside. And that hard shell has to be broken in order for whatever's in that seed to begin to come forth. So it's not a hard thing, and I don't believe that that too much is being required, because God understands the kind of seed we're supposed to be. So he put just the right amount of pressure on it, so that outer shell can crack, so that seed can actually fall into the ground and really bring forth fruit. And so I think that's kind of where we at, and I think it's kind of the way God intended it to be. But I think we get it mixed up when we get offended, or we take it personal, or we put ourselves on our mind, or we get so full of ourselves. And I don't even know what would make us say, who do they think they are? I don't understand why we would even have the audacity to sit and say, who do they think they are? If that's a thought you have, it's probably not the house God's called you to. Because whatever they are,